Morning, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. This morning is the last of the three. We've got 3 lives left to go. So this morning I wanted to talk about how to make hormonal healing easy. Wouldn't that be nice? We need more things in this life that are easy. Now, not convenient. I didn't say convenient, because that whole quick pill, fast fix, that's one thing. But I'm talking about how do we make it straightforward and how do we make it simple? Good morning, everybody. Hey, Tanita. Hey, Riley. Hey, Campbell. Hey, Becky, Natty, and Maddie. That was a coincidence that it was Natty and Maddie. Hey, Alicia. And so what I really want to talk about is up until now, maybe your journey has been really hard. And this is the case for most women. It's a hard journey, and it's hard for so many reasons. It's hard because doctors don't know what's wrong with you. You don't know what's wrong with you. Specialists don't know what's wrong with you. And everyone's trying to piece these different parts of the puzzle together. And it feels as though you're still not getting the answers that you want. And sometimes you get answers that are maybes, and it doesn't give you any confidence or any certainty on, okay, well, now what do I do and how do I heal? It's hard because you have to spend money on testing and trying to figure out what's going on. Is it my gut? Is it my thyroid? So you do a test for your gut and then a test for your thyroid, and then you pay for extra, other testing, other blood pathology that maybe your doctor won't just give you, because sometimes they have to charge you additional fees, or sometimes you just go, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. And so there's extra money involved, and you think, is it my genetics? So then you get a genetic screening, a genetic test. Let me know in the comments if this has been you, just trying to figure out what is actually going on and what is wrong with your body. And then you waste time. Hey, Maddie, hey, Michaela, Ebony, Caroline. And then you waste time as well. So it becomes hard because you're wasting time, you're wasting money, and you're wasting time and the possibility of you wanting to maybe fall pregnant. Maybe your time is running out. Maybe you feel as though your clock is running out. And so that puts extra stress and extra pressure on you, which is the enemy of hormonal balance in the first place. So it's not like we're going to live a stress-free life. Yes, see, Melanie's saying absolutely. That's been her experience too. We know it's not going to be a stress-free life, but these are the ways to make things easy for you. There are only 3 things that you need to focus on. 3 things. And this, I think, is where hey, Leah, hey, Sam, this is where I think my expertise really shine, because maybe I have an inner lazy girl and maybe I just like to make things easy as possible. But when it comes to hormone healing and hormone balance and striving for that hormonal balance, especially with PCOS, it is so important to know that it doesn't have to be hard. And when I see women struggling and they're finding it really hard, it absolutely breaks me, because I feel like I'm sitting here in this corner being like, hey, come over here, I can help you. And it doesn't have to be so hard. And if I could take that pain away and that suffering away from other women, man, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I know that it's just a matter of, these lives really help to just grow the awareness. If there's anybody that you know that's really struggling with their hormones, and the way to really tell is if they have any pattern that occurs around the time of, a certain event in their cycle, if they have irregular periods, so maybe it's always just before their period or a couple of weeks before their period. If you notice any kind of pattern like that matches the pattern of their period, then they have hormonal imbalance. And the chance of them having PCOS, I've shared a few posts on my Instagram lately, on my LinkedIn as well, and on my Facebook, that really show that there are 1 in 5 women who have PCOS, and it's such an undiagnosed syndrome, because there are all these different criteria and there's all these different types of PCOS. So go and have a look at those if you're interested to know, maybe do you have undiagnosed PCOS, because I've had a lot of women in my inboxes, in my DMs lately saying, oh my gosh, I think that I was told that I didn't have PCOS and I actually do. So I would love for you guys to go check that out. So I really wanted to help make it simple. And I think that's the way that I approach everything. I always think, how can I make this more simple? And even though it's a complex syndrome, it definitely is a complex syndrome. It affects multiple systems. How can I make it easy to solve? And as a problem solver, it is easy. So let me introduce you to these 3 things. Now, what needs to happen before you start with these 3 things and you focus on just these 3 things, is understanding that you need to have a paradigm shift, a mental shift that needs to happen first. Hey, everybody who's tuning in, you need to have that mental shift that happens first. First of all, you need to know that it can be healed. Your PCOS can be healed. Your hormone imbalance can be healed. You need to know that, because not only have I done it for myself and thousands of other women, we see women do it all over the world as well. It doesn't have to be me that necessarily is your guide. I mean, I would love to be your guide. But if it can't be me, or it can't be me for the person in your life who is suffering with hormonal imbalance and PCOS, well, we know that it's possible. And if your doctor's told you that it's not, well, your doctor is wrongo. So, and I'm happy, more than happy to say that. But there are plenty of open-minded doctors and doctors that will be willing to support you. So you just got to find those ones as best you can. And you can always ask me if there's somebody in your area that I might know that I can help guide you to them. The mental shift that needs to happen as well is that you need to understand the difference between what you think is healthy and what is actually beneficial for hormonal balance. So again, I've been posting about this recently on my Instagram and my Facebook and my LinkedIn. What works for men is not what works for menstruating women. And there are multiple reasons for that. So go check out those posts if you're interested in understanding, okay, what is she talking about there? Because that is really important. And it just kills me, because I used to be an F45 group trainer, like a fitness trainer. And I've been around F45 for as long as I can remember. And I've also been around, Anytime Fitness and Virgin Active. And in those gyms, I just see the same thing over and over, especially with the personal trainers and especially with the advice that it's given. It needs to be really different for women in their menstruating years. Hey, Romy. Hey, Hannah and Lauren and Ash. Thanks for joining me, guys. So here's the 3 things. The first thing that you need to focus on, and this is a pretty obvious one, but not in the way that you think, is your fuel, is your nutrition. And a lot of people, when they are diagnosed with PCOS or they realize that they have hormonal imbalance, they're savvy. So they know that what they're eating has some influence. And of course it does. Of course it does. We are what we eat. What we put in our body is the nutrients that are going to get broken down. And if you don't have those nutrients going in, well, you're not going to have a very good chance of being able to have healthy cells that actually, work and function and talk to each other. But it's much more than that. And actually, Rami on my Instagram Live will tell you all about it, because she's helped with a fair few of the nutrition plans, because I trained her in exactly this. And even though, and Rami will tell you herself, even though it is, yes, sure, it's clean eating and, eating whole real foods. Sure, it is those things, but you don't have to be perfect. But there is a formula behind it. And that's what you'll see in all of the nutrition plans in the on the Doing platform with the PCOS project and with the FlowFit challenge as well. So fuel is a really important one to focus on, but understanding what is important for hormonal balance and how, and this is the most important part, how to eat according to where you are at in your cycle, because you need to support certain things to happen in the body. Your body does know what to do, but it gets really confused with everything else, all the other input that we've got going on, all the other stress, all the other toxin exposure, all the pesticides and all the herbicides. There's a lot going on. So your body needs support to detoxify. Your body needs support. Thanks, Romy. Romy is saying there definitely is a formula to it when it comes to nutrition, and it works. It absolutely does. And I have amazing, amazing reviews and testimonials that you guys can check out on my website, which is thepcosproject.com, that will help you see that that is the case for many, many women and all over the world too, which is the best thing about it. So there's fuel that's really important. Okay, so we need to support those systems like our detoxification system, like our nervous system, and like our blood sugar balance system, which is very reactive to stress. And then we have the second of the 3 to focus on, these 3 things to make hormonal balance easy, is your fitness, is your training. So I've been a personal trainer for many, many years. I've been around the block. I have seen and done and tried and experimented with all types of training. And there is one type of training for PCOS that works the best. And then when it comes to hormonal balance, there are also different types of training that work best for different times in your cycle. You may have seen some of these, blogs and, information on this as well. And I don't think they get it entirely right. I think it's very broad. And I think that week by week people divide it up, and I see that there are some, there are some gurus who they're like, okay, this is how you should train in this, in your ovulatory phase, you go and you do HIIT, and in your menstrual phase, and you do walks and yoga and Pilates. It's not entirely true. And I think that there aren't many people that specialize or who have a history or a background in fitness who are able to actually really support what hormones are being triggered when we do these different types of exercise. And that is where I think I shine, because I've come from the fitness industry first and foremost, and I see what works and what doesn't work. And being able to be around all different types of training has really made it so clear to me what actually works best. And again, yes, it is about matching where you're at in your cycle so that you understand, okay, is this going to be too much for me in this part of my cycle? And for some women it will be, but for some women it won't. And it depends on the severity of your hormonal imbalance as well. And the third thing that I really want to bring your attention to, which is an easy thing to, an easy task to put your attention on, is what is happening with your self-talk. Now, you can call this mindset, you can call this mental health, you can call this your focus, where you focus your energy mentally, but that mind-body connection is everything. And if anyone's ever had IBS, or even if you've, about to speak in front of a board and or even a presentation at school, let's be honest, we all remember these times where mentally we would feel quite stressed, and maybe, that upset our appetite and we couldn't eat that morning because we're really nervous about something coming up, a talk we had to do, something we had to present. And then you notice as well that your gut feels terrible, and, maybe you need to do a nervous poop or something like that. And that is an example of that brain-body connection, that mind-body connection. So the third thing to focus on, which really helps to support this system of your nervous system, which, is actually the system that makes you tremor and shake when you're nervous and when you're stressed. Supporting that system is really important for hormonal balance. Why? Because your nervous system is actually your central nervous system, which means your brain talks to your spine, which talks to your nerves, which talks to your organs, which talks to your cells. And that whole system working together is going to be heavily influencing what is happening in your brain. And do you know where your period starts? It starts in your brain. So if your brain is clouded with miscommunication, thank you so much. I love you, Annie. I'm so obsessed with you, dear. I love you. I'm so obsessed with you too. Then it's really important to understand that if that brain-body connection is out of whack, and sometimes you'll have heard this as HPA axis dysregulation, which used to be called adrenal fatigue. It's actually that brain talking to your stress hormones, which is putting everything out of sync and really affecting the way that those organs are being spoken to from the brain. So that's a really important system to look after and to nurture. And it could be simply by doing a 5-minute meditation in the morning, maybe a little bit of self-reflection, writing things down so that it's out of your mind. Anything that makes you feel cool, calm, and collected, whether it's reminding yourself with that self-talk, hey, you know what? I've done hard things before. I can do this too. Those are really important things. And I think they're often missed because somebody gets a PCOS diagnosis or recognizes they have some kind of hormonal imbalance, PMS, PMDD, amenorrhea, endometriosis, whatever it might be, and Googles, okay, how do I get healthy physically? But what about emotionally and mentally? Your brain is not, outside of your body. Your brain is part of the same body. So you have to treat it accordingly. So it's all about creating that leverage. What's the minimum effective dosage that you need to do every day with these 3 easy things: fuel, move, and focus. They're the only things you have to focus on. And I've been studying for long enough to know that it actually is that easy. It really is straightforward and simple. And it's just a matter of applying it and reapplying it day after day after day. And then suddenly noticing these changes in your cycle, these changes in your period, these changes in your symptoms, how much better you feel overall, how much better your detoxification system works. And then you start to notice things like your body shape might start to change in a favorable way that returns you back to your sort of happy, healthy weight, where you feel most comfortable, where you don't feel as heavy, where you feel lighter, and you're really able to feel confident in your own skin. And that is, again, a mind-body connection. So thank you everybody for joining this live. I will go live tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you gathered any nuggets of information or you really felt like you resonated with this live, definitely please DM me and let me know. Don't forget, you have 3 days left to sign up. If you would like to save $1,000 before the PCOS project goes up to its normal price, this is the launch offer I have available, and it is only available for 3 more days. So go and head to thepcosproject.com and have a look, learn more, and hopefully I will see you inside if you sign up. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and have a beautiful day.